Okay, so we're back on video 2. So while I have my hand full with the camera in the hand, I'm going through this process of kind of showing you what I do. That's the that thing. And you see why I don't take videos all the time. Grab everything, scale, UV light, electronic leak detector, dye injector. So this is another one of my dye injectors. We got the little thing of Nylog right there. And video 1, I showed you where I was just hooking up the vacuum pump and gauges. But you see, because I'm holding the camera, I couldn't take everything in one load. I guess I have to get one of those head mount things or chest mount camera holders or something like that. And as you see, you got a shop full of cars and a lot of front end hits too inside here. And basically from morning to night, between this and the mechanical shops for doing diagnosis, and then going back to the commercial industrial side of it for the VFR installations. Yeah, busy 365 days a year if I want to be. Because in this trade, that's one thing there's a shortage of technicians. And you know what there's a bigger shortage of? There's a bigger shortage of owners of businesses who are not lazy, who are not cheap, who are not ignorant. Seems like lazy, cheap, and ignorant is a choice that has the majority instead of a minority. And a lot of shops are losing a lot of money because they choose to be lazy, cheap, or ignorant. And because of that, there's a lot of mistakes. And shops have been going out of business. Kind of like the owners are starving and they're like a dam, springing a lot of leaks. But the leaks are money. And money is leaving their shops faster than they can comprehend. Especially now with all the increases in shipping and parts of cost, owners are struggling, trying to figure out why are my profit margins going down, but they don't raise their prices, and they're going down with their ship. Some aren't, some are, some aren't. There's a lot that are though. So what I didn't do here is I didn't show you guys. Let's see, let's get that off there. I'm going to grab the Nylog. So you do this with one finger, one hand. Okay. Now just notice I don't have the light on to give you guys good lighted. Now you see how that's on the outside. It never gets on the inside. You put it on the outside of the ridge because it's the outside of the ridge is where, and it's not focusing either. The outside of the ridge is where the O-ring slides onto. So that keeps off any possibilities of vacuum leaks coming into your system or bleeding down when you're doing a vacuum decay test in automotive. And I gotta stress the difference between automotive and commercial or residential, because on commercial or residential I would not be using a set of gauges. If this was a mini split system or a VRF system, basically I would just have a set of hoses from a vacuum pump, no gauges, going directly to the line sets. In automotive, we do this. Actually, I should have set this up gaugeless. I've done those videos before with no gauges, and I will do it again. So let's open. And then I'm talking on the phone here. I'm making a mistake because what did I do? I hooked up my gauges to the system. I actually screwed these down. I was not supposed to screw these down yet, but because I'm distracted talking, trying to explain while I'm working with a lot of noise in the background, by that way, that before I hook up to the car, you are to every time draw your vacuum down on your gauges to prove that your gauges could go down to where you want them to go to and hold. And then after that, I'm going to shortcut this right now because I'm wasting time holding the phone. After that, you prove that, then you hook up your gauges to the system. You screw them down and you open them up to the system. So right now, let me do this, and I think I'm going to have to. There, I just stopped the vacuum. So right now we'll see this go up, and then it'll start to slow down and it'll start to level off if I stand here long enough. And I don't have my other vacuum pump hooked up to get it on a really fast low vacuum because I'm wasting so much time taking video. And so right now I am just showing the loss in my hoses. This loss going up to here is from contamination and outgassing of refrigerant coming from my hoses from the last loss. They are not hooked up to the system right now. They're not screwed down. And you can see it stopped. So basically, I know my gauges aren't things. Usually I like to get this well below like 300, 200 without them there. But I'm speeding this up so I can get this over for you guys. So let's open it back up to the system. It'll go back down. Now I'll connect them because now I know my hoses aren't leaking, and I know if I keep it on there long enough it'll eventually go down below 500, but I don't have time for that. And what I'll do is I'll hook up the oil. I'll inject the oil later on. And but what I like to do is if you inject an oil into a negative vacuum, now you have the possibility of getting some air, so you want to make sure you have Nylog on there. The oil comes out and it immediately expands into a foam, and if there's any moisture in it, the moisture literally bubbles out and pops out when you put any moisture that possibly could be in my oil that's in this metal container will come out as a vapor, and then you hook it back up to your vacuum and draw out that vapor. It's just how anal you want to be about how precise. So I'll catch you on the next video. I need to free up my hands and I need to start my paperwork to do my invoice, and I do my invoice through my phone. Alright guys, and I need my 2 hands.